In the year 2010, when the Water Resources Commission embarked on a public education campaign, the Pra River Basin was significantly featured. At that time, the process towards setting up a basin board and its secretariat as the decentralized management body to facilitate the implementation of Integrated Water Resources Management (IWRM) was already in place. The IWRM approach is to promote the coordinated development and management of water, land, and related resources in order to maximize the resultant economic and social welfare in an equitable manner without compromising the sustainability of vital ecosystems. The Pra Basin Board of the Water Resources Commission has since been set up and is represented by 17 stakeholders with various backgrounds who bring their positions and expertise to bear in addressing the challenges faced by the basin. Dr. Kwabna Kankam Yabwa of the Water Research Institute chairs the board.
Formally, we'll be managing rivers and water bodies according to administrative regions. So if, for example, a river like Pra is passing through Ashanti region, it will be managed as Ashanti region Pra. So in terms of integrated water resource management, we are doing the basin-based management. And for the Pra, which has some challenges, we manage it according to, because the Pra, when you say Pra, is often from one side of it. The birim is also one side before they join like a triangle and flow towards the sea. So we are catering for the Pra, the offing arm of the Pra. And the offing arm of the Pra is basically in Ashanti region before it goes through central regions to join the sea. So most members are from the offing arm, the districts and then the government agencies and NGOs that are within the offing basin, offing river. Our task is to manage the water.
Today, the Pra or Offin Basin Secretariat is in place with its offices located in the Ashanti regional capital of Kumasi. Mrs. Abna Dufie Redubreman is the basin officer.
The main objective of setting up this secretariat is to manage and regulate water resources within this basin. Once we have an office in Kumasi, it makes us very visible in Kumasi because in the past, everything was done from Accra. And it's really difficult to regulate and manage water resources when you are not close to the resource. So it's very good that we have the office close to the resource. Most of the challenges that we are having is compliance. People are too used to some of the old ways that they were doing things. So it's very difficult getting them to change from some of their old ways and complying to the water resources rules. When we come to Kumasi, you see people building in waterways. You see people throwing rubbish in the rivers. All the rivers in Kumasi, I can say, are polluted because they are in the urban areas. Most of them consider them as large gutters. Once they introduce the channel, people see them as large gutters and they throw rubbish in them.
Mr. Yalbuating Opoku knows the length and breadth of the basin, especially in Ashanti. During the course of his work, Yalbuating has identified various hot spots that threaten the very survival of the Pra River Basin. Knowledge about these hot spots also means having an adequate idea about mitigating these challenges. Our first stop is the Wood Village at Sokobang, a suburb of Kumasi.
This is a collection of water bodies within the Kumasi metropolis, naming the Sisa, the Daban River, and the Abuabo, including the Subin. They all come here to join, then enters the Oda at Asago. The main activities going on here is woodwork, where lumber is being produced, and those offcuts, mainly the sawdust from the which serves as the end product of the production of lumber. When it rains directly into the water body. Some of the wood products are very poisonous, and this Oda is a main source of river for the people at Bekwai and its environs. And looking at the source of poison being poured here, it will affect the cost of producing water at that end. There are a lot of developments directly within the buffer zone. There is this unnamed wood industry which is situated within the buffer zone of the this water, collection of these water bodies that we are talking of. And once it's within the buffer zone, all the effluent from that industry will definitely drain directly into the water body, which will have its effect on those people who will be drinking from this water body.
Users of water upstream must be careful what they do because it directly affects what happens downstream. Ajwa Munkwa Dakon is the Public Relations Officer of the Water Resources Commission. She describes the out-of-sight, out-of-mind attitude of the Ghanaian.
As Ghanaians, we always like the easy way of doing things. So straight away, we just take whatever and dump it in water. Because we know that it will go away. The water will just clean up, take it away, and then that's it. And these are some of the challenges that we face.
Whatever we are doing to a water body upstream is affecting somebody downstream. So we need to change our attitudes towards how we relate to our water resources. Because whatever you do at any point in time affects somebody in one way or the other.
The detrimental activity around the Wood Village, which is upstream, has a direct impact on the people who live in Asau, a community downstream. Kofi is a steel bender and an aspiring footballer. He recounts with nostalgia how he used to drink from and swim in this river.
Best na enum suno yetimi koni akwa kudwalem ye bobo yetimi kokudwalem aho fo kraba bobo a omu nyina yetimi ba bedwalem bi a so ni mode obi bedam futia anopa onko fia akopum nyimre bet nyimre ka kledi no yetimi no mefri se omudi bola no eba hodum no omu saade toilet so ba hodum ntina omakonete esomakonete pipe na ma isu no nti toilet no ensuo no eba wemu obe ensuo no kwampa hu se toilet no like enuma kakranka kabia hu no toilet no bi wom ntina emaye ntimi enum.
Today, none of what Kofi could do at the river during his childhood is possible. The water is now heavily polluted and discolored. Fishes, if existent at all, would have to compete with plastic waste and other pollutants for survival. One policy intended to protect water resources around the country is the National Buffer Zone Policy. It prescribes a distance of approximately 90 meters away from our river and other water bodies if there should be any activity such as farming, building, and construction, etc. But in most parts of the Pra River, this is not the case. Farming along the banks and the use of chemicals are common even in a major city such as Kumasi. Car washing bays are now littered very close. Buildings so close to catchment areas are a common occurrence, and in some cases they are directly on the waterway. Some of these include schools, churches, and private property. It is done with so much impunity, and in some cases, walls are even built to divert the waterway, often with serious consequences, including flooding. Katachie Miracle Worship Center is bustling with activity, even though it's not a Sunday. One would think that the building of a house of God would first be premised on whether or not it is built at the right place and whether or not permit is secured from city authorities for such a purpose. Clearly, this was not the case. The church is built too close to one of the catchments of the River of Inn, and this footage shows quite clearly that the proximity is far less than the 90 meters prescribed by the law. It is also evident that clear natural warnings of flooding exist, but such warnings go unheeded even to men who claim to hear directly from God. Buildings are so close to the catchment area, and there's evidence of people using the river as a point of refuse disposal, and even human waste disposal points are built so close to the water bodies that the river cannot escape pollution from human excreta. One very important national collaborator of the Water Resources Commission is the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. They are so familiar with these challenges faced by our water bodies.
No matter what we do with respect to controlling pollution at various hotspots, you still have a lot of problems with effluents that are discharged from our domestic homes. Those are not controlled, with the exception of few areas that we have a central sewage system. Most of these things come from our homes that are not treated, which eventually end up in our water resources.
Aboabo is another hotspot that was identified by Yao Boating Opoku. It is a very sad story and has a telling effect on the behavior of the human being when no one is watching. The issue of pollution permeates the eyes and nostrils of any passerby. The fact that kids can be seen openly defecating into the river tells us what examples have been set by their adult parents and guardians. Barakesi, a 35.5 million cubic meter dam, is the main supplier of potable drinking water to the whole Kumasi metropolis. Its catchment spans an area of 902 square kilometers. It is an integral part of the Pra River Basin, as it can be found on the River Ofin. Apart from siltation of the Barakesi Dam, several other activities are hindering the dam from operating at full capacity.
The design capacity is supposed to do 48 million cubic meters of water. But Kumasi, as we speak, the demand of water is about 40 million and over. But we cannot meet that demand. So there's an urgent need to dredge the dam. And more so, the important aspect is that we continue to ward off those illegal felling of trees in the catchment area. We have a challenge with pollution, and that challenge is upstream. We have farming activities going on upstream. These farming activities, they use chemicals, fertilizer, and all those weedicides and the like on their farms. Now when it rains, during the rainy season, all these are washed into the dam. So when it happens that way, then we need to use a lot of chemicals to treat the water before the water becomes potable, before the water becomes wholesome, before the water meets the WHO standard and Ghana water standards as well. So this is the challenge we have.
The ORB head works from the Ghana Water Company Limited also utilizes the water resource from the Pra Basin. Angela introduces us to the facility and talks about some challenges.
You are currently at Ghana Water Company Limited's ORB head west, where we treat water for Ebuakwa and beyond. All the communities from Esanse, Ekropon, Ebuakwa, Koforidua, Tanosu, and Nkariye and beyond. Basically, the Owabe River is highly polluted.
But there are streams and rivers which flow into the Owabe stream, into the dam. So if these small streams are polluted, exactly the dam is also going to get polluted.
Ghanaians generally listen to traditional authority. As such, the involvement of traditional authority is key if the policy of integrated water resource management must succeed. Nana Kweku Konedu is a traditional leader of Ofenso Asumankuma in the Ashanti region. He was installed by Nana Abankwere, the chief of Ofin, and handed the responsibility of keeping pure the water that runs in the Ofin River. According to Nana, he communicates with the river and can tell us what Ofin likes and does not like.
Toilet. And to me, some bad, I'm to Kotu or Henenim, and then another thing, you know, me now to de mini. As soon as you catch them, and almost de mini, a unipamame, Tembium Bones on Hobine.
Call them Ofin water guards, and you may not be wrong. Nana Kweku Konedu has asked these young men to take us to the riverside and show us evidence of how well traditional authority is able to keep the water clean. Clearly, this community reveres its water, and the young men show us how safe it is to dip a hand in and take a drink. This is an example that every Ghanaian must learn from. Once upon a time,
a man called Akrabompe was once on his usual hunting expedition when he came across a small pond with antelope. The antelope, anytime that he crosses over the pond, it vanishes. So the man came to organize the chiefs and the elders that he had seen a certain bosom, and the bosoms, the bosom is was a distant pond, and the antelope was a okay, which is okay, is the longest. So for that he derived the name of bosom chain. That any time that he crosses the antelope crosses the river, the pond, it vanishes. So they named that pond Obosom Chain. That is why we have Obosom Chain.
Lake Busumchi is a natural lake that stands out as a prominent protected area. Scientists proclaim it was created as a result of a meteoritic impact and has become an object of intense interest to both national and international researchers. The lake is also a source of livelihood for the people who live around it. They fish from the lake. They harvest drinking water from the lake. They use the lake for recreational purposes. Boat operators rely on the tourism activities around the lake and make money by giving tourists boat rides. Even the district assembly has part of its revenue generation coming from Lake Busumchi. Veronica recounts.
So it has been a tourist center for the whole Ghana, and even I can say the whole world, because people from outside Ghana also visit the lake. The district assembly also is benefiting from the lake because we give it out for hiring, and when people come during holidays or public holidays, they contact us. We charge them a little amount for our income generating fund, and then they go there and make merriment. Some even come there to celebrate their lives.
It is the more reason why the people who live around the lake must take special interest in preserving it. Nanajima Nkudum is the traditional head of Abo, the community that hosts Lake Busumchi.
So unia so the samna kom ebre atwam a efiri na ekoi de emfa samna enkonsuo ndu unia o se nsuo si fom baabi na so ba horo nyema mu a hohom so obedware a odware abra en nsuo no kra afi wo mu so a wo mu aheda se ebe ye mfuo wo nsuo na no so abra wo bido nsuo na no no nsuo na no na o se nsuo no.
Miss Veronica Inchieje adds